Clark muscling away.
I mean, is that displacement? I think it is.
Oh, Marina Mabrey's going to get ejected. If the officials...
After giving Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark a violent, unjustified shove that brought her flying to the parquet, Marina Mabrey, the Connecticut Sun guard with a chip on her shoulder, was given a permanent ban. It was more than just a foul. The league, social media, and even the NBA were all rocked by the full-on attack. Hold on, though, since this incident involved more than simply Mabrey's dirty conduct. Before Sophie Cunningham, a teammate, stepped up as the enforcer the league didn't anticipate, it was about the referee's egregious failure to safeguard Caitlin Clark, the WNBA's golden goose. And I promise you'll want to hear this section.
Mabrey. That's a flagrant foul. It's a hard foul. You could say it's a play on the ball, but...
It all happened at Cambridge Fieldhouse on June 17, 2025, during a tense game between the Indiana Fever and the Connecticut Sun. Tensions that had been building since the first quarter made the game tense, but in the third quarter, things took an unexpected turn. When Sun guard JCS Sheldon swung at the ball while Caitlin Clark, the Fever's record-breaking rookie phenom, was dribbling it, he recklessly poked Clark in the eye. In exasperation, Clark pulled Sheldon away, clearly in agony. Then, without warning, Marina Mabrey charged into the battle and gave Clark a blindside shove that left players reeling and fans gasping. And it gets wilder from here on out. After reviewing the action, the referees, who had been ignoring the situation all night, suddenly concluded that Mabrey's obvious attack merely called for a technical foul. Just a smack on the wrist for what many are seeing as a willful attempt to damage the WNBA's reputation. No ejection, no flagrant. Due to their unsportsmanlike behavior, Clark and Sun enter Tina Charles were also given technicals, which infuriated spectators on X. It's crazy to give Caitlin Clark a technical foul for being shoved to the ground after being struck in the face, one commenter raged. Although the referees failed to shield Clark, her colleague Sophie Cunningham was prepared to administer justice, and the WNBA was unprepared for what transpired next. Thus, what occurs next will completely alter the course of events. This is when things really go wrong. So let's speak about the officiating. In a post-game pool report, crew chief Ashley Gloss had the gall to say that Mabrey's shove did not qualify as a flagrant 2 foul or even an ejection. Analysts and fans were in awe. How could the biggest star in the league be subjected to an unjustified, brutal push, not merit prompt repercussions? During her press conference, Fever coach Stephanie White was unreserved in her criticism of the referee's incapacity. "We knew this was going to happen when I initially spoke with the officials in the first quarter. They need to take control of it," White stated. "They need to improve." White's annoyance was shared by the entire league. The refereeing in the WNBA is not keeping up with the game's advancement. The referees appear to be trapped in the past, despite the fact that players are stronger, faster, and more physically fit. As if things couldn't get any worse, the league acknowledged its error less than 24 hours later. If Mabrey's technical had been called in-game, it would have resulted in an immediate ejection because it was raised to a flagrant 2. Fans went crazy when it was decided that she would only receive a $400 fine rather than a suspension. The fury was evident on X. "How is she not suspended?" questioned one user. After Marina Mabrey attacked Caitlin Clark, they are promoting her like a jerk. Marina Thug Mabrey is a jealous coward who attempted to harm Caitlin Clark in an attempt to end her season, another person said. The sentiment was obvious. Supporters wanted Mabrey to be permanently removed. This is the part that no one anticipated. Sophie Cunningham took matters into her own hands after the WNBA refused to discipline Mabrey. When the game reaches the last minute, the Fever is ahead 88-71. The player who stole the ball, drove for a layup, and jabbed Clark in the eye was JCS Sheldon. At that point, Clark's ferocious comrade Sophie Cunningham made the decision that enough was enough. In an obvious retaliatory foul, Cunningham put her arms around Sheldon's head and threw her to the ground, causing supporters to jump out of their seats. A full-fledged brawl broke out when Sheldon charged forward, spilling into the courtside seats. As security hurried to break up Sheldon's hair, Cunningham even grabbed it. At this point, things started to go haywire. Sheldon and Sunyard Lindsay Allen intensified the fight, and Cunningham was also given a flagrant send-out. Fans on X praised Cunningham as a hero, despite Sun coach Rashid Mazang calling her foul, foolish, and disrespectful. A teammate finally got Caitlin Clark's back after the assault she's taken tonight, one person said. Your AG, Sophie Cunningham. Jared Verse, a pass rusher for the Ollie Rams, added his voice by tweeting, "This standing on business. Sophie Cunningham is the hero the WNBA needs," said another fan. Overnight, Cunningham's fame soared. She had 1 million TikTok followers by June 20th, and her admirers were praising her in her comments. That night alone made you a national treasure, girl. Formerly a fan of Sophie from Fever Enforcer. Best of all, the WNBA discovered her without suspending her, indicating that they weren't prepared to deal with the Fever's new enforcer. Caitlin Clark is more than just a player, let's face it. The WNBA's ratings are skyrocketing because of her. Breaking records, the 2024 first-round pick is now the fastest player to record 100 points and 50 assists in a season. Millions of people watch her games, filling arenas and increasing the league's profile. What they're not telling you, though, is this. The WNBA's viewership plummeted earlier this season when Clark missed 5 games due to a quad issue. Without her electrifying presence, games fell flat and social media interest faded. There is no denying Clark's influence. With endorsements pouring in and fans flocking to see her throw no-look passes and splash threes, she's the crossover star the league has been waiting for. However, that notoriety also makes her a target. A wider discussion concerning player safety has been triggered by the referee's failure to protect her from opponents like Mabrey and Sheldon, who appear determined to rough her up. Becky Hammond, the coach of the Las Vegas Aces, has criticized the league's high rate of concussions, saying, "There have been too many shots to the face. The WNBA might experience a catastrophic drop in viewership if Clark has a significant injury. And the ending will surprise you." For the Fever, Sophie Cunningham's arrival as Clark's enforcer could be the decisive factor they need. The drama was heightened when NBA players and media figures joined the discussion, which was not limited to the WNBA. Dave Portnoy, the founder of Barstool Sports, went all out on X, accusing Mabrey of being a resentful loser who takes advantage of Clark because she is useless without her. "How do you not eject her?" he wrote, demanding a lifelong ban. "Your league's most crucial player and its future prospect." Fans who believe that Mabrey's actions were motivated by jealousy of Clark's quick ascent found resonance in Port's tirade. NBA players also paid attention. Although there were no clear remarks from active players, rumors circulated on X that LeBron James and Kevin Durant were among those observing the drama, with Durant allegedly enjoying tweets about Clark's tenacity. The editor of Sports Illustrated wrote, "The Connecticut Sun and Indiana Fever will not be mingling anytime soon following a ferocious game that included countless altercations. You wager. The basketball here is evolving, but the inadequate officiating is not," the Washington Post said, referring to the officiating as a league-wide issue. On June 21st, Mabrey finally spoke up during a live webcast alongside teammate Sonia Rivers. Rivers laughed at her cryptic remark, "Well, damned if I do, damned if I don't," but it didn't stop the backlash. Calls for her to be banned were fueled by fans who saw it as a sign of lack of regret. This is the point at when everything goes totally wrong. Because the worst of the lot will just get more confidence as a result of the WNBA's failure to voice their opinions. The league faces a decision. On the one hand, they cannot afford to risk Clark's injury or lose her enormous fan base. However, suspending Mabrey in the past could create a precedent that interferes with the physicality of the game. However, what follows is just crazy. The WNBA appears to be attempting to ignore this, as seen by their choice to identify Mabrey and Cunningham without suspending them. Sophie Cunningham steps in because fans aren't letting it go. Her readiness to defend the story has been altered by Clark. Clark is no longer a lone superstar who takes cheap shots. When Cunningham is on her side, opponents will be reluctant to attack her. It's fantastic that Cunningham is prepared to defend CC. In the coming year or two, I largely hope that CC will recognize that she has nothing more to prove, retire, and allow the crowds at the bottom of the bucket to enjoy their pay reductions. Stay tuned because this is a really big section. The WNBA's most serious shortcomings have been shown by its inability to protect Caitlin Clark. Inconsistent officiating, hostility motivated by jealousy, and a refusal to put its biggest star first. Marina Mabrey's attack on Clark served as a wake-up call in addition to being a foul. Supporters are calling for a permanent ban for her. The league is under pressure to take action, even though that is improbable. Meanwhile, Sophie Cunningham has become the enforcer the WNBA didn't realize it needed, standing ready to administer justice when the referees refuse to. You will comprehend the significance of this by the end of this. The WNBA's ratings are being carried by Clark. The league also runs the risk of becoming obscure without her. The Fever are ready to take control, not only on the scoreboard, but also in the cultural discourse with Cunningham at their side. The WNBA is not prepared for the future. And believe me, there is still drama in the WNBA. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel for additional updates, like, and share this video if you liked it. Keep an eye out.